We're gonna start recording now. Welcome in, welcome in. Buenos dias, bom dia. Buenos dias, bom dia. Hello, good morning. All right. So I see Eve here, Chrissy from Philadelphia, Kira or Kyra from Georgia, Sylvia from Italy, currently living in Miami. Hey, 305 fam. I'm Kinalda. I go by Kiki and I'm from Palm Beach. Hey. Yamina here. Hey, ya. Happy to be here and so grateful for the opportunity you're setting for us. Listen, I am so excited about this, y'all. You don't even know. Like, I didn't know so many people would want to learn, honestly. And then I was like, you know what? I've been doing a lot of praying before I came in front of y'all. A lot of speaking with the ancestors and just getting permission to stand before y'all. And the initiations on a deep spiritual level, y'all, like, I am so ready to serve y'all and help y'all step into your communities. That's why I want to see in here, like, where people are coming from to get an idea of where we're trying to expand. So I'm going to go into a little bit about, me, manifested this opportunity. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a doula program, not like anything you've seen before. And that's why it took me a little while to really come in front, because I got some MF Doom back here, y'all, because MF Doom passed last year. Blessed transition. If ever you get time, check out MF Doom. So part of my background, as you know, I was a substitute teacher for like 4.5 years here in South Florida in Broward County. And my kids always used to love me. I work with kids from pre-K to 12th grade. And so I feel like part of my, I guess, rapport was everyone just knew me as a teacher who was always playing music in her classroom. And my kids loved me for it. You know what I mean? It was something that it kind of connected us. And so you will constantly hear me having music in the background. It just helps me warm the space before we get into, just blessing the space and honoring our ancestors. I'm already feeling a lot of energy here. Yes, I took my timing. That's key, much appreciated. That's what makes your trainings unique. And that's what I want y'all to see. So we're gonna go into specifically the breakdowns of the two different programs, because there's gonna be a virtual learning option as well as an in-person option. And, I've lightened my load with doula clients for this whole year to just dedicate my whole year to this. Like, I want us to grow. I want expansion. And I feel like the ancestors want us to tap into our roots and really expand, y'all. Okay. And so you're going to learn a lot about me as I teach, because I'm one of those people, I love to share. But I want you to understand, I come from a substitute teaching background. And so, in the past, I've had people constantly, throw shade that I'm not a real teacher because I don't have my teaching certification, things like that. I did go to college in order to become a substitute teacher, but I never honestly felt pulled to really go down that path. I was just like, I love this space. I love serving my community. And as most of y'all know, you probably love to serve your community in some way, shape, or form, or you want to find that area in your community where you can serve your community. And so a lot of us are looking for a way to protect and serve ourselves, right? And so in this orientation session, we're going to sit here, we're going to break down the virtual program option as well as the in-person learning option. We're going to go over the payment arrangements, how you can go about that, as well as what that looks like. Is it doable for you this year, or is it something that you have to plan for next year's cohorts? Okay, so we're going to go into all of that because I know there's a lot of information, and my biggest thing is to get things digestible to you all, okay? And so let's start off by doing a little blessing of the space, you know, just lightly. I want to just light a little bit of sage. So this is something you're always going to hear me talk about, y'all. Okay. I am not a supporter of us buying sage, because sage, especially this type, is being over harvested, right? And so I think it's very important that even in me using this right now, let me just explain that these particular sages were gifted to me. I have a couple bundles that were gifted to me. And when I'm gifted something, you know, I accept it. But you're going to see me burning this, but I am a supporter of us either harvesting our own or going to locally grown gardens in order to burn our sage, if you must use sage, or look up alternatives. There are alternatives out there, okay? So I'm one of those people, I just always have like tidbits of information in between everything to just randomly spread out. So I hope that's okay with y'all. I love this. Like I'm in a space where I could just literally just talk all I want. So anyways, I'm gonna light this sage, and also this is my shell that I got from Puerto Rico. In indigenous cultures, when we step into ceremonies, you will see that a lot of us have, you know, some form of a cup or a bowl or something for our ceremonies. And so me and, you know, in my family, you know, it was just that I get a shell. And I was just walking on the beach in my grandpa's hometown. 4 people entered. Oh, sorry. Sorry, y'all. When you come in, please mute yourself. Oh, I can. Oh, I think I can do that. I don't think that's rude. Hey. Okay. So, perfect. I think everyone's muted. Okay. Can you hear me? We're good, right? You can hear me? Okay. So anyways, in my family, it was just that we use a shell. So when I do my ceremonies, I use my shell. So anyways, I'm going to just bless the space as we step into this orientation session. I'm just going to ask our ancestors, all of our ancestors, walk with us in divine alignment, in divine balance, in the spirit of Ma'at, which is the spirit of law and order, divine balance, justice. Okay. So what I want you all to do right now, yes, some people use Palo Santo. You know, you can drop whatever you use. Some people use dried orange peels. Whew. I want you all to take a second. Close your eyes for a second. Okay. Close your eyes for a second with me. And just take a few deep breaths. Drop your shoulders. I want you to think about the people who came before you, who led you here, who brought you here, even if you don't necessarily know their names. Even if you don't necessarily know their names, take a second, take a few deep breaths, and I want you to think about the ancestors who came before you to lead you here. Think about how magnificently created you are. You are not here by accident. We're going to start by making sure that is understood. Okay, take some deep breaths and tell yourself, I am not here by accident. I am not here by accident. Whatever it is you're battling right now, I don't know specifically, and I don't even know if I can handle it because it's a lot already I'm feeling. But I need you to know that you are not here by accident. Whether it is to serve your community or find out how to serve yourself so you can just wake up in the morning and feel like you have purpose, I'm here to tell you, you're not here by accident. Okay? And your ancestors want me to remind you of that. Okay? Want to remind all of us of that. We are not here by accident. We have a purpose for being here. All right. Now, as you come out of those few deep breaths and you open your eyes, you're wriggling your shoulders around. Yes, we're on a virtual platform right now, y'all. We're going to do this little orientation session, but I want you to know that it's only a matter of time before we link up in real life, okay? It's only a matter of time before we link up in real life. Y'all already know, okay? The link up is going to be so real. So it's virtual right now. You know, ideally, I didn't want to do virtual, but I guess it'll be nice because we can have recordings of classes. You can have the paperwork and PowerPoint. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. But I want y'all to know I am a big supporter of linking up in real life, okay? Because all this virtual BS, oh, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Right? Okay, but we being patient, we thanking the ancestors. They are with us. They are so excited to see. And so what I want you to do right now is type in a few names of your ancestors into the chat bar. Call on a few of your ancestors right now. Type in those beautiful sacred names, those that you know. If you only know part, if you don't want to acknowledge certain names, whatever it is, whatever name it is you are peeling, virtual caca, but controlling what I can, let it go of what I can't. Right. Virtual interactions can be interesting. They're interesting. Call on those sacred names, okay? And I'm going to call on a few of mine. I'm going to call on my father, Alston Guice, who was murdered by Tampa officers in 2019 in jail. I'm calling on my abuela, Minelva Martinez, Matos Martinez. I'm calling on her father, Jesus Matos. I'm calling on the spirit of Carmela Martinez, my great-grandmother. And for those ancestors that we do not know their names because we were separated from their stories for whatever reason, due to whatever migration your family went through. And, you know, as we, you know, go into things and we get to know each other more, if you move forward with programming this year and next year or whatever it may be, you know, we will get into that. We will get into that. Okay. But this process is deeper than if you just came here just to be like, ooh, I came here to get these classes done, get these assignments done. And ooh, I got a certification, doula time. I'm here to tell you this is a lifelong journey, and I homeschool. I'm a Black unschooler. I unschool my daughters, and I tell her part of our motto is learning is a lifelong journey, and I want that to be part of our motto with each other. Learning is a lifelong journey. Me as a doula, I do not know it all, and I'm going to be the first one to tell you. I told my kids as a substitute teacher, I said, listen, I do not know it all. Most people don't. No one really does. Most teachers don't either. They just got policies that they have to follow. And what you'll see as you step into this program, when we start to step into decolonization, right? And truly understanding the systems that we are a part of. This is much more than just, okay, I got this certification. This is stepping into a lifelong journey, okay? In a very, very sacred way. Becoming a doula, you know, the Greeks called the doula servants. It's a Greek word. And so for me, it's very important that I acknowledge that our roots come from the civilizations along the Nile. And so that was Ethiopia, Kemet, which the Greeks called Egypt. You have Uganda. You have the Twa people who were, I believe, before the Egyptians. Okay. And you have other civilizations, Ethiopia, right, along the Nile. And so we will be studying all of these things because it's very important to understand that just because we live in this Western society doesn't mean that it is necessarily one that is in alignment with our moral principles, right? We're a part of it, but morally we know something's not right. And we're pulled to this work. We're pulled to community service for whatever reason, because we know that something's not right and we feel called to play our role, right? And we all have a role to play. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me too. I know most of you saw the video, the orientation videos. If you are seeing this orientation recording and you didn't necessarily see any of that, I encourage you to please go onto my Instagrams and just go to the IGTV videos and watch part 1 and part 2 of the orientation videos. Thank you. Okay, so I'm seeing all these beautiful names, and I just want to say, thank you. I'm honored that you trust this space to put these beautiful names in here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful names. And I can't wait to move forward and get to know about the stories and how your the migrations your family went through to lead you where you are today. I'm very, very enamored with migration. Like, it's very interesting to me. Anyways, so let's get going, okay? So my name is Athena Gabriella, Guice, Copeland, Matos, Martinez. These are all colonizer last names, but I carry them and I do business with them, as you all should, because I believe in us talking about reparations. Because if you saw my IG live last night, or on my channel, I have one called Black Genocide. And, us as Black, I call us Black people because that's what people know us by, but us as original people, as Indigenous people, Black people, we are living through a genocide, and we have been for hundreds of years. And, I break it down, and I will continue to break it down in my work about, the genocidal conditions that we are privy to at alarming rates. The moment we're born into this society, even before, even preconception, we're at risk. Okay. And so this journey of becoming a doula is so much deeper than just getting this certification. Okay. And so if you came here for like that certification, beautiful star on it, that's like, oop, got this, ready, I'm here to tell you that work is so much deeper. It's so much deeper. You may step into this program, and I'm keeping it real with you because I'm not here to take your money. That's a beautiful part of this. We're going to talk about payment prices. We're going to talk about all of that and why I charge what I charge. And you're going to see I'm not here to take your money. You may step into this journey and say, I love this program. I love what it's taught me, but this work is deep. I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know if I'm willing to go to someone's house in a pandemic to go support them in a birth because of whatever reason. Mental health, spiritual health, whatever reason it may be, physical health. I'm too scared or whatever it may be to go out into the community, and that's okay. I'm here to tell you that that's okay. Okay? I want you to know that whatever part of your journey you're at, you're safe here. This is a safe space. This is not a judgmental space. I've worked for many years with around different ages, and being that I was the youngest substitute teacher probably ever in Broward County, but especially in my time, I've socialized with teachers who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and I've sat and built with scholars, and I'm here to tell you that no matter what part you are, no matter what part you are at in this circle, okay, no one is necessarily ahead of another. This is just a circle, okay? You get what I'm saying? We're just at different spots of the circle. Some people call it the sacred spiral, and so I'm a mathematician. And so when I talk about the sacred spiral, I talk about like Fibonacci sequence, which Fibonacci and all of those European and Italian mathematicians took credit for our knowledge. Okay. The Egyptians, the civilizations along the Nile, that was ours. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure we know that was us. Okay, I ain't gonna sit here. Yeah, Fibonacci, I'm gonna bring him up to tell you that he got that from us. Okay, so when we talk about mathematics, there's a little clip on my page where we talk about ma'at, right? And so you will constantly hear me throughout my class talk about ma'at, right? Ma'at was an Egyptian principle that was deified by a goddess. So you will see people with the goddess Ma'at. She's represented by a cat, feathers. Someone trying to call me during my orientation. Scam likely. Them numbers are so annoying. Okay, but Ma'at. Let me change this vibe real quick before I get into that. I'm gonna do some Nipsey. I'm gonna put a little Nipsey hustle. I'm gonna put a little bit of that in the background. Okay. So come on, y'all. Let me see some shoulders and something moving. Something. Come on. We virtual, but you gotta loosen up. Move them shoulders or something. Loosen them up. It's really good for you. It's good for your spine. He said real nigga reparations. All right. Hey, my students used to love me. Oh my gosh. Like, I never had no issues. They loved me. I used to be like, what music is good right now? Like, put me on game. Show me what you working with these days. They'll be like, all right, let me show you. Anyways, all right. So I will do that a lot, y'all. You will see that throughout class. Just randomly just, hold up, gotta get, and I encourage you to do it when you feel the call, okay? That is spirit. That's your ancestors saying, hey, I'm here, okay? All right. So you are safe here. But what we're going to start getting into now is the two different types of programs, okay? So I told you, my name's Athena Gabriella. Guys, I gave you my last names. I grew up here in South Florida. You saw that in the video, in the orientation videos. Everyone knows me as the nerd. I was the nerd in school. Ha, 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 ha. I'm going to be successful and you are not. All the people who made fun of me. Watch what happens. Anyways, it's always the ones you make fun of. You know what I mean? But I was very quiet. Everyone kind of knew me. But everyone knew me as like the girl who just focused on her work. And so I became a substitute teacher very young, fairly young. And that's where I kind of discovered, I love to teach, but I don't like this system, right? And so what I kind of discovered was I really enjoyed, as a mother at that time, I had just become a mother. I had gone through my own experience with a postpartum mood disorder. And I talk about that in the program, and we get into my experience and how that led me into building this program. But we also are going to talk about, why reevaluating the way we learn and we think. Critical thinking is so important. And as a doula, you are not restricted to, I guess, I don't want to say restricted, but you are not bound to the oath that doctors are or nurses are or policies. And so you have a unique opportunity to navigate yourself through the community as well as the institutions. So it may be the hospital. It may be the local birth center. It may be somebody's home. Someone may come to you and say, I want to go to the woods and deliver right there. And as a doula, your job is to support whatever the fuck they want. Because guess what? It's not your job to tell someone how to birth. It's not your job to tell someone how to do anything. That's not your job. You are not here to tell someone how they should do something. Does that mean you can't make suggestions? You can make gentle suggestions. You can talk about things you've seen, research you've learned through your program or yourself. But your job is not to sit here and be like, oh, your doctor said that? No, do this. It's not your job. You are here to provide the information to allow them to make informed decisions, okay? To navigate that themselves, okay? It's a complex role. You play many roles. But my goal with this program is to guide you along this journey and to make a living and not make my mistakes. I want you to make a living and not make my mistakes, okay, from these last 6 years or so, okay? Because I've made a lot of mistakes, but I still managed to build something that was growing and feeding me, providing for me and my family, to the point now that I can provide for myself. I don't have to depend on juggling all these other jobs, like especially these last couple of years. I've honed in on making sure that I am being consistent in the community, because people can see you have something that's actually valuable to offer, even though it's not as normalized as we want to see it. That's because, to be honest, there are not a lot of opportunities for Black and brown people of color, Indigenous people, Afro people, African people. All these terms are interchangeable at this point, right? We know who we are, right? When we're talking about like non-Euro folks, non-Caucasian people. And so we will also break down how in Indigenous cultures, the idea of like mixed people. So if you're like, oh, well, I'm mixed this and I mixed that, like, what does that make me? We don't deal with that. That's something the colonizer taught you. We don't deal with that. Okay? Mestizo this, mulata this, that is what the colonizer has given us, okay? And it's something that exists within us, and we're gonna break that down. Okay, me as an ambiguous looking Black, Indigenous, Afro, Boricua, Afro, Puerto Rican, whatever the fuck you want to call me. I just use these terms because I know that y'all just know these regions by these certain names. But at the end of the day, we are one people. We are so very mixed. And the way you present, it can be different. Yes, different colors, white, yellow, red, brown, da, da, da. So you hear in history a lot of Indigenous people referring to people by their color, the red man, the yellow man, the da da da. And I want you to understand that things have changed, okay? So we're referring to people by regions now, not necessarily just by color. So when we're calling someone Black, that is not, it's indicative of a little bit, not very much, okay? So for me, I like to say displaced Africans, okay? Displaced Africans, displaced Indigenous people, displaced Afro-Indigenous people, okay? So I'm, gonna get more into about who I am and, why I'm sitting here in front of you, but I wanna break down these programs too. I'm gonna start with that. So I'm going to share my screen. How did I figure out how to do that before? Okay, maybe I remove spotlight. Oh, share screen. It's right in front of me. Whew. Well then, alrighty. Share screen. I think it's this one. Can y'all see this? You see this? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. All right. So we're going to talk about the virtual program first, okay? I'm just going to start with that one because I know, one, it's a little bit less money. When I say a little bit, it's less money. Donald Trump. Oh. Okay. All right. We don't need that energy in here. We don't need his name in here. All right. Woo, get out, get out, get out. All right. So we're going to start with talking about the People's Perinatal Health Worker Program. Okay. So this is a virtual program. It's a 24-week live online doula training. Okay. Now, the thing about this program is that, to be quite honest with y'all, it is everything I think I wish I got in my original training when I first stepped into this work. Okay. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If this is nothing like any sort of white training you've seen, because this is for the people. Okay. And so a lot of my roots, I am a community organizer. I've worn a lot of hats. It's on my website. You know, I don't want to get too much into me, because I feel like I made y'all do the video. You can go on my website and see if you want to learn about me. But what we want to talk about today are these programs, right? We want to get some clarity on these programs. What should I commit to? What am I stepping into? Who is she? You know, I want you to fill me out. I'm not here to take your money, okay? You may go through this orientation video and be like, okay, this is cool. Maybe this is something I want to do next year or in a couple of years. I am intending on teaching, you know, launching these programs every year. At some point, I will be doing them just recorded. It won't be live anymore. But for now, maybe for the first couple of years, it may be live, maybe the first few. It just depends on how I'm feeling about, you know, the content and, you know, how y'all learn. But it may not be something you want to do this year. And I'm here to say that's okay. You can still follow my page, still share the information, you know, still spiritually prepare. But what I want to tell you is there is no white program out here. Not a damn white program out here that is going to prepare you to serve your community. Period. 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 That's it. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna start there. And everyone knows me. I am very blunt. I am very blunt. If you are okay with blunt, then me and you are gonna get along fine. I am so blunt. And when it comes to matters of reparations, Black power, and when I say Black power, I'm referring to Pan-African power, Puerto Rico, the liberation of Puerto Rico, the liberation of Palestine, things of that nature, I'm very passionate about and I'm very blunt about. So I'm not very like sweet and cute. I just be like, no, but this is this, and this is this. And if you don't like it, write a note, send me an email, and we can talk via email about whatever you have a question about. Okay, I'm here for whatever. I'm not here to judge, you know. And so my background as a substitute teacher really taught me how to work with people of all ages, right? So what do they say? They say if you can teach a child something, you can teach anyone, right? And what I learned is that's actually my superpower. If I can teach a child something, I can teach someone who's 40, 50, 60, because I don't care what age you are. If you want to serve your community, you can serve your community. Now, I want this to be digestible for anyone, okay? I want it to be digestible. I'm switching up the vibe again. All right. So the People's Perinatal Health Worker Program, okay, a 24-week live online doula training program. This is to prepare the next generation of radical rebirthers. And I am fusing traditional things along with innovation, okay? So we're fusing innovation and tradition with a new full spectrum doulas training program, okay? This is something like you've never seen before. This is going to redefine what being a doula or a perinatal health worker is, okay? So this is the virtual program. So let's kind of break it down a little bit. So, and even then, this little thing that I'm using here to listen to the baby, well, I'm actually not listening to the baby. If you look, the mama is actually listening to the baby. This is called a fetoscope. You can write it down, fetoscope, FETOSCOPE. Oh, someone's here. SCOPE, fetoscope. Okay. Fetoscope. That's what she's listening to her baby's heartbeat with. It doesn't sound like how it sounds on a Doppler. And we get into that. So that's called a fetoscope. There's not many pictures out there with them, but you can find some if you do some research. So I give a lot of things to look up for research. So always be ready to write notes, because if you like research topics or things to look into and you want to be fully submerged in this information, I am that person. I am that person. You came to the right person. I am not here to hoard information, okay? I'm not here to hoard it. I'm here to channel it in an efficient way for my people so we can serve our people, okay? So we can go out and serve our community. We are community servants, right? Water birth. This is pricing, and I'm going to come back to that. I'm one of those people. I know that other professionals, they don't believe in like posting their pricing and things like that, like making it easy access. I've always thought to myself, that's kind of weird. I don't really like that. Just tell me from the get-go, like, how much do I expect? I don't know. Is someone not muted? If you're not muted, please just make sure you're muted. I'm not sure. But I don't like when people kind of don't tell me what to expect. As I said, I'm not here to take people's money, okay? Whether or not you join me or not through this program, I'm still going to be offering it at this price, okay? So I'm going to break down why is this price. There are scholarships already included into the price, which is why you see different prices based off of different things. So I'm going to break that down because the scholarship is already included, because I kind of just wanted to cut out any extra stuff. So I'm going to explain why it's priced the way it is. Okay. So if you have any questions, visit the website, fill out the contact form, or send an email to help@hijadelsolbirths.com. Any questions at all? All right. So okay, when you come in, mute yourself, please. So this program, this doula program, the People's Perinatal Healthcare Program is, being launched by my business, Hija del Sol Birth Services. It's a 6-year-old business, and this is me stepping into expansion so that we can grow our community. Okay, and this community, this comunidad, this is so much more than just a doula comunidad. This is a lifestyle type thing. Okay, this is some deep spiritual stuff, y'all. Okay, but this is a 24-week program where I am taking my time every Sunday. The dates are, I'm going to show you the dates, every Sunday for 24 weeks to prepare you. And yes, we'll also talk about everything that's included next, to prepare you to offer competent, trauma-informed doula support to your community. Okay. So we're going to cover a variety of topics. Okay. So we are going to talk about reproductive health and sex education. And, I also find it important to note this about me. I am a queer woman. Okay. So I am a pansexual. Some people say bisexual woman. I date men and women. Okay. So, and I am non-monogamous. So I am a lot to swallow, y'all. And I want to get it out there that I am very inclusive. So I know there's a lot of talk on social media right now about, using inclusive language and how people feel like that's not natural, whatever you feel about, my, I guess, love style or my just whatever, or other people's love style or whatever. You have to understand that when you serve the community, it's a variety of people, right? We can't necessarily pick and choose who we serve, not to that extent. we can kind of like, for me personally, I don't necessarily work for a lot of white people. I've only worked for one white person before. And so I guess to a certain extent, we do control, we do get to say, hey, I'm going to move forward with this person or not. But you also have to understand that, yes, some people are out here who you may have certain judgments of. You may have certain judgments of me, even from, preconceptions of what it means to be, bisexual or pansexual or whatever we're calling, someone who's fluid. I'm just fluid. And non-monogamous, you have your own preconceptions. And so I want to just tell you that the way that I teach is very inclusive, because I believe I don't care. I believe Creator God doesn't care about any of that stuff. I really don't believe Creator believes that because I love a man and a woman or two women or whatever the case may be, that I am inherently wrong or bad. Okay. And so when I teach, I am not just here to teach about, reproductive health and sex ed and things like that from just a heteronormative perspective. We are also going to be talking about things from other perspectives, such as sex education for LGBTQ people. Okay. We will briefly talk about that stuff because it just has to be talked about. What I learned in college was, because I was introduced to so many different types of people, it made me more comfortable to serve anyone. And so even if you don't believe in, LGBTQ pride or whatever, I still invite you to take this training because it's simply encouraging you to be open-minded to anyone, no matter who they are. And you will find that people are not inherently bad because they may be LGBTQ plus. Okay. And I'm here to say again, I'm not here to judge. I know all of us come from different backgrounds, different cultures. And so we talk about reproductive health and sex education, trying to conceive journeys, and we are serving people through these journeys. And so a doula offers emotional, informational, physical, sometimes spiritual support through these journeys. It's not non-medical, yet it does have to do with health. This is holistic health. This is preparing you to offer holistic health services, okay? And so trying to conceive in infertility journeys, I'm going to talk to you about how I've served people through these journeys over the years. Through pregnancy, so we talk about, again, these are through traditional aspects as well as modern aspects, because some of my people, they do go to fertility centers even, and I still am supporting them. And so pregnancy, how to offer physical, emotional, informational, all of that type of support to people through their pregnancy journey. Through labor and delivery, we will talk about pain management techniques, positioning, to facilitate an easier labor, positioning of baby. We will talk about how you serve through labor and delivery with honor, with pride, knowing that you are serving to the best of your ability and you have boundaries because you also are sacred, okay? So labor and delivery, postpartum, you will find out how to support in early postpartum to extended postpartum. All of this stuff, even if you are not serving, the program will set you up to provide services amongst all a full circle experience. Okay. Perinatal means the time surrounding birth. Okay. The time surrounding birth. So that is before preconception, through pregnancy, through labor and delivery, through postpartum. Okay. Early postpartum. When I took my training, I was not adequately prepared. And I refuse to teach people or even to allow people to join my doula co-op unless they have been adequately prepared to offer competent trauma-informed doula support. And so you are also going to support people through breastfeeding, body feeding. Okay. We talk about, the reality is you do not need that certification and all of those thousands of hours to serve and offer support as a lactation peer support. Okay. So we talk about how doulas offer very great peer support in all of these fields. in all of these areas. So breastfeeding, body feeding, assisting people through those journeys in your community, in person, virtually, however, through parenthood journeys. We offer, even if you may not be a parent, that is okay. The same way, I've never had a C-section, but I serve people through healing through their C-section journeys, okay? So through parenthood, how you can provide valuable information, because sometimes they're first-time parents and they want to know how to support their newborn. And you may have access to valuable information due to this training. We're going to talk about how to offer them support through this journey. We're going to talk about supporting people through infant loss, miscarriages, and abortion. Whether you believe in abortion or not, people have them, and we still have to serve our community. As I said, I am not here to judge anyone. And what you will learn about me is I have mastered the art of saying, hey, this is a safe space. Okay? No matter what your bias is, this is a safe space. If you can talk about your bias, you can open your mind. We can talk, okay? So we will talk about supporting people through infant loss, miscarriages, abortions, healing from that on a physical aspect, emotionally, spiritually, the information you need. Supporting people, there are death transitions or bereavement doulas. So we will also have a period where we talk about that aspect of this work. I wasn't prepared for that. And that's because I went to white women to try and educate me how to serve my community. It wasn't even a live training. It was all through this bullshit course. I'm sorry, I curse sometimes. I just can't help it. I say it with love. It just adds a little bit of flavor. So besides that, we are going to talk about evaluating this all and serving as a perinatal justice and equity doula. And so, you know, a lot of times you hear people say freedom, justice, equality, right? Freedom, justice, equality. I believe in freedom, justice, equity. And so equality is giving everyone the same thing. So when they talked about segregation, integration, all of that, they wanted equality, right? Which was we want the same thing that white folks have. We want the same thing that white folks have. That was wrong. Our ancestors did the best they could with the knowledge that they had, with the knowledge that they had. And the reality is we shouldn't have been asking for equality. We should have been asking for equity. Equity means giving everyone what they deserve. Equality means giving everyone the same thing. Okay, and there's a difference, and the difference matters. The language matters. As we take this course, we break down language, okay? So we kind of covered all the areas. So even if you are not serving in one of these areas, you are prepared in all of these areas. You may find you are more inclined to support people through breastfeeding journeys, body feeding journeys, through labor and delivery, through postpartum, through trying to conceive journeys. You may find you enjoy serving people through all of this. And by the end of the program, you are basically prepared to serve people through all of this. But it is, again, a lifelong journey. Okay, so let's keep going. So what is included in this program? Okay, so when you link up with the gang, so I'm the oldest of 7 kids, y'all. I have 4 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm one of 3 sisters, charmed. And I am very, very big on us just understanding, like, we have to build a tribe, okay? So when you link up with the gang, this is not just, okay, here you go, here's this training course, make it do what it do. Nah, I ain't doing that. I am setting you up with your own functioning business. By the end of the program, by the end of the 24 weeks, your website is done. Your website is done, okay? You are ready to step into the community. What I found is over the last couple of years, people are constantly coming to me like, hey, I took this training, but I don't feel like I'm really ready to step into the community. And then I have to, I've been doing a lot of advisement and development sessions, and it just still doesn't feel like people are adequately getting prepared to really step into this community service. And so this is 48 hours of course time, okay? So for 24 weeks, every Sunday at the specific time, which we will see, it will be a 2-hour class via Zoom, okay? Now, at the end of this, so by week 21, we're getting near the ending. Once we get to the ending of the program, we will have 2 group mentorship calls with the people who also took the in-person training, okay? So even if you came from the virtual background or the in-person background, no matter what, when we go into the group mentorship calls, this is me talking to all of y'all, no matter which program you did, okay? Because we still got to be like a tree, right? Like a tree, okay? And so 2 group mentorship calls via Zoom. There will be one one-on-one call specific to you. So at the end, after you get your certificate, we will set up a one-on-one call, virtual call, where you can come to me and say, hey, there was this specific thing that, I just would love your time with to look over with me. It may be your website. It may be your social media page. It may be however you want to market. It may be some information you weren't sure about. But this is access to a one-on-one advisement and development session with me. That's included as part of the training to individualize things to you in your unique doula practice. I am trying to help you set up your unique doula practice so that I don't have to spend a whole bunch of advisement and development hours on the back end of the year trying to get people really set up into the world to serve their community. No, I need you to learn how to serve your community in this program. I need you to take advantage of these 6 months, because what I saw with a lot of training programs is they're trying to take people through this 3-day in-person training, or through, certain amount of weeks. And I'm just like, this is a lifelong journey. There's a reparenting journey that has to happen. There's spiritual things that are going to get broken down within you, amongst other things. And so anyways, we will have the one-on-one call specific to you and your unique doula practice. Or if you are one of the people who are starting a joint practice with someone that, also is close to you, that you want to start a joint practice with, because doing this work alone can be very tiring. Maybe you have a friend, you've talked about both of y'all wanting to serve your community in a certain way. There also is the scholarship, and I go back into the pricing for people who are starting a joint practice. That means that you've brought this idea to someone, you're like, do you want to start this joint doula practice with me and serve the community in this way? I wish I had somebody to have a joint practice with. I've been looking for so long. I want to encourage people to, talk to someone who you feel is a friend, is really, pulled to certain type of work that is of service as well. And you'd be surprised. You would be surprised, okay? And so even that one-on-one call, if you are doing the joint practice, it will be 1-on-2. So I will talk with both of you in your joint practice, okay? So the class manual is a workbook that I am creating right now that is going to be shipped to you at the beginning of the program, okay? So if you are coming to the in-person, which we're going to get into the in-person training program, we're going to go on for another 30 minutes or so. If you are going to the in-person doula training program, this workbook will be provided to you at the retreat, at the program, at the Rites of Passage retreat program. But if you are taking the online program, it will be shipped to you before the program starts, because that's how you will take your notes. All of your notes will go into this textbook, into this manual, okay? That's going to be your Bible, basically, okay? That is going to be your book. This is going to be your, your book that you can pass down to your line if you decide to have children. if you have children, if you have family and you have sacred traditional information that you need written down in a sacred place, it will go into your doula book. And so this manual will get sent to you, shipped to you. You will, at the end of the program, with your certificate of completion of program, you will be shipped a perinatal health worker badge. And so our main line, if we're doing communication for the perinatal health worker program, you will be provided an electronic folder through a platform, almost like Google Drive. I haven't decided which one I'm using yet. But you will be provided an electronic folder for all of your assignments. All of your assignments will go into that electronic folder. You will make sure you get your professional headshot done, and you will put it into that folder. And that's how I will put it into your develop it into your perinatal health worker badge. Because what I learned in this work is you need a badge. You need a certain level of legitimacy for people to understand that your work is real, you know? And so the reason I say that is because when I was serving a mama during her birth, during the civil unrest and protests here in Fort Lauderdale, during 2020, during the Corona pandemic, there was a curfew, there was lockdown, and me as a doula, I am considered essential. So I can't be scared to go out into my community. So I had to go out into my community, even during all of that, with my mask, even with civil unrest, even though my dad had been murdered by Tampa police in prison the year before, and my anxiety around police officers for years has been, since a child, very bad, since my first memories of police coming to my house. So even amongst all that stuff, and I'm just bringing this up because I still had to serve, okay? And you will still have to serve, okay? Ooh, accidentally pressed the button. Sorry. Ooh. Okay. So what else is included in this program besides the perinatal health worker badge? Because what I realized is, as I was serving during the civil unrest, during all of that, I had to, because I'm self-employed, I had to create my own letter as proof of employment for myself, as proof just in case the police stop me, which still, us, Indigenous people, Black people, original people, our anxiety with police, because our ancestors just know, it's in our DNA, your heart just you just get a little nervous. It almost makes you feel like just being Black, being brown, being whatever, Indigenous, Afro, whatever, Pan-African, whatever. It's just wrong in this country, or whatever country, wherever you are globally. There is an obvious oppressor. Okay. And so what I realized is I needed a badge to serve. And so if a cop did stop me during this lockdown because of COVID, because you are going out here, I'm preparing you to go out, and next year I'm pretty sure COVID shit will still be something that is still being pressed on the public. And so this badge will allow you to navigate yourself and show like proof of who you are, all of that stuff as a doula in the hospital setting, birth center, at someone's home. If you get stopped by the police during, lockdown, during COVID, whatever it may be, the badge is important. Okay. And that will be shipped to you with your certificate of completion of program at the end of the program. You will also be getting weekly skill building activities. Okay. And so a lot of communication, y'all, will be, all of your work will be, a lot of everything will be put into your workbook, but communication with me, in order to cut down on like emails, unless it's actually necessary, you need to, like, maybe I said something weird that threw you off in class, and you need to, share some space with me. You got to send me an email. Hey, mama, can I talk with you about something? You said something on class that I don't know if I understood it, or maybe energetically it kind of made me feel weird. Can you clarify something? Whatever it may be, that kind of conversation is important. And I invite us to have those conversations in our community. I will teach you about emotional intelligence. I will teach you about communication, how to stand in your truth and your boundaries. Okay. But communication with me will be primarily through your electronic folder. So if it's like just taking pictures of your assignment or your weekly activity or whatever, maybe from the workbook, and just taking a picture and uploading it into your e-folder or something like that. That's how you show me your stuff, because I will go in once a week to check everyone's folders to make sure that your weekly skill building activities have been done. And so weekly skill building activities will look different. It may be something you're doing in your house. It may be doing something you're doing virtually to build up your social media presence. It may be something you're doing in your actual community to get that anxiety you feel about going into the community bred out of you, because it's a process. Sometimes we get nervous going into the community, and I'm here to tell you that's okay. For whatever reason, that's okay. I don't know specifically what you've been through, but I feel it and I know it's okay. That's okay. That anxiety is okay. You can still serve. You can still serve. We can use you. We need servants. But we got to do some skill building activities. Okay. And so I actually did play football in high school. So I look at sometimes life like a football field. Okay. And so, you know, it's not just the other team you're playing. Sometimes you're playing the referee, right? And the referee is a different person, you know, or a different something. Sometimes it's bad spirits. Sometimes it's your own demons. Sometimes it's your friend's demons, your friend's jealousy. Sometimes it's other people's inability to see how great you are. And I'm here to tell you that that referee has no jurisdiction, no real jurisdiction on your journey, okay? You are meant for greatness. So there are weekly skill building activities to help you. Interactive community work assignments. So again, that could be virtual or in person. It may be like, hey, your activity for this week is to go to your local hospital or birth center and go introduce yourself or something, and go bring your business cards or go whatever. It may be something like that. Okay. And, you know, write back to me about your experience. It can be just going in for 5 minutes just to be like, hi, I'm, you know, a local blah, 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 blah. You know, I'm here to just say hi and, you know, get any information I can. You would be surprised. These hospitals are looking for community liaisons almost. They want people who are perinatal health worker minded, meaning you see yourself as a bridge between, a sacred bridge between the community and the hospitals. Because me personally, I am not anti-hospital. I do believe that big pharma has a big role on people's intentions and people's motives and drives, and money does, and that's very dangerous. But I do believe that institutionally, you know, there's a lot of damage that went into the creation of the hospital system and the medical industry that has to be talked about, and we got to heal from if we are to talk about building a new economy and alternatives and utilizing these systems to build something beautiful, because I know we all want community. And so there also will be reading lists that are given to you. Sometimes spirit moves me and I'm like, hey, loves, I'm like, here's some YouTube lectures I want you to check out whenever you get time. Sometimes it'll be like, hey, this is your reading list for the week, or, you know, and when I say reading list, it may be like an article. It may be like a few pages of a PDF. It may be a few books that I need you to look at, you know. The level of importance will be stressed to you, you know. There's some that's like leisure, like if you want to know what I know, if you're trying to be on the things that I be on, then I'm gonna give it to you, you know. But if you just want to focus on stuff that's strictly for the course, then just focus on what's strictly for the course, and that will be highlighted in there. But if there will be reading lists, there will be paperwork that's provided for your admin stuff. So a lot of you, if you're here in the US, you know, you have to talk about starting an LLC or an S Corp or whatever, and tax stuff and the admin stuff. And, you know, what do I do for taxes? What do I do? Because this has to be a legal business and I need to show that. I want to show you again how to make a living doing this, not make my mistakes. I want to show you how to make a living doing this. So I am giving you information that you need to know for admin purposes, for tax purposes. Okay. So we're talking about how to build your legal business, professional business, so that if you want to go get an apartment and you want to go move and you need proof of income and da da da, You got bank statements. This ain't no joke. This ain't no, this is a real business. Like, people be surprised when I'm like, yeah, I have my bank statements. Here's my da 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 da. Here's my Sunbiz proof. Here's my da da da. Because you need to have them things ready so you can build a business. Okay. I want to show you how to grow something that is going to feed your family. If you have feed yourself, that's what I want to see. I want to see my people eating and serving their people. Okay. So I'm just so excited. Okay. But anyway, so paperwork, e-forms, all that stuff. So contracts, birth agreements, the understanding that you have with your client, privacy, like kind of like a HIPAA form, privacy information, photo release, that kind of stuff. All that stuff is provided to you. And then it's also geared in a way where you understand that you can adjust it based off of your unique doula practice. So how I run my business may not be how you run your business. I know some doulas who stack up their year ahead of time. They like to know. For me, I don't like to work like that. I don't like to feel tied down like that. Like, I like to just let things flow. So I just tell people, find me when you find me, find me when you find me. But this year I took it real light. So I kind of told people, I'm like, I'm launching trainings. I'm trying to see how many people want to step into this journey. So I'm taking it light. But other doulas, they got that thing stacked with clients. Other people are like, oh, they only take a light load, whatever. Everyone's different. So you will understand that. You will understand, how to price, for your services, for your doula packages, all of that stuff. Marketing, all of that stuff is included. PDFs applicable to perinatal assignments. So when you go to your sessions, what do you say? What do you do? How do you support? I am providing you with the assignments and like the literal PDF forms that you're going to use to guide your session by session. I am literally setting you up with your own business. Like I don't even know how to stress to y'all how fucking dope this is. Like, until you see, like, at the end of it, you have a website set up, you have the paperwork set up. People are gonna be like, wow, this is so professional. Yes, because like, even when people didn't hire me, people were like, you're so professional. I've never seen somebody that young who's that professional. Because I don't play. One, I'm a type A personality. So I'm a little bit, but what I realize is a lot of us are kind of like that. Okay. So what's in this chat? Oh yeah, it's exciting. Yay. Okay, y'all, can you put something in the chat? Can you let me know how you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Can you let me know how you're feeling? Please put something in the chat. Y'all just sitting here. I'm just like, oh my gosh, are they thinking I'm weird? What are they thinking? Are they excited? What are you thinking? Are you excited? Like, do you see, like, I took my time to structure this, but I want you to be like, I don't want you, mama, like, boo, I don't want you to be like, like, I don't know if I'm ready to like go out. I want you to be like, damn, like, I have no choice but to go out because people are calling my phone. People are emailing me. Okay. People are emailing me. People are on my website. People are texting me. People are calling me like, hey, are you the local doula? Are you the local doula? I want you to be like, a doula is as fucking respected as a doctor. Okay? You are a hood doctor, basically. Like, you're like a hood doula. Like, the people have your number. Like, that kind of respect, you go anywhere in the world, that kind of respect as a traditional like birth keeper, a servant of your people, that's a kind of wealth that people, that's what they are looking for. You get what I'm saying? That they think money can buy. It's not money that buys that. It's service to your people. Okay. So again, I'm going to go into the pricing in a second, and people are going to be like, wow, like, are you doing this for the money? Yes, I'm doing this for the money because I study economics and I'm trying to invest into land here in Florida and Puerto Rico. And I have to charge and funnel that money back into the land until we take it back. So yes, I'm charging so that I can get us some land so that when you come to Puerto Rico, you have somewhere to stay and it's either super cheap or almost like nothing because, economics, baby. We got land in Puerto Rico. We got land in Florida. And when we want to hop around, we hop the fuck around. Like nobody can contain us and box us in. Like, I know y'all are just free spirits like me. I know. I secretly know. And I know you want to be able to just serve and whatever, but like I have a vision and I want you to trust me when I tell you, like, you'll be surprised at the things that I have stored. Okay. Okay. All right. So yes. So let's read some of these comments. Hey, people are excited. So fucking dope. She's exciting. So excited. Happy as fuck. On fire. I'm ready. This is amazing. Excited. Sorry, it was a little late. Such a blessing to be here. I'm fucking excited. So ready. So ready. So excited. This is so dope. Ecstatic. I'm manifesting. My phone will be ringing like crazy. So excited. Will there be any other scholarships offered? Thank you so much for your passionate outlook. I'm going to explain that and how it's included already in the pricing. Getting chills. My mom has landed in South Carolina, so let's build everywhere. Okay. I took a postpartum doula course with Donna and I felt discouraged as fuck. I know. I wore my traditional clothes for the course and the instructor told me not to show up to a client's house wearing that. Like, bitch, fuck you, bitch, fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Like, this is exactly why I started my training, bruh. Like, this is exactly why. Thank you for talking about this. That's exactly why I'm a doula warrior. Like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Oh my gosh, I almost signed up with Donna. Oh my gosh. Feel like I'm at the right place at the right time. LMAO, bitch, fuck you. Yes, get it out. Get that shit out. Get it out. I encourage you. Like, this is a safe space. Them white people not gonna hurt you no more. Listen, not in my space. That's why if you are white and you are taking this orientation video later on, you're not in the space or whatever, if you're a white person, I'm here to tell you, I am also going to teach you, but it's going to be in a separate space from my other people because I have to protect them. These are my people to protect. You are not my business to protect. I'm here to teach you. I can teach you how to serve my people, but these are my people to protect. So my people are going to learn in a separate group and I will teach white people, but that's also why when we get into pricing, white people are charged a different amount of money. That's why, because Black, Indigenous, Afro folk have a scholarship already included into the pricing. It's already included. Okay, so I def second guess alignment. I def second guess Donna and so glad I did. Something was telling me to wait and not go with Donna. Ugh, yikes. I ain't say it. I love it here. Spirit showed me this class. It's this space for me. Love it. I absolutely love this. Y'all are the voices in my head. I love it here. All right. Woo! All right. Let's move through because I know y'all are getting antsy and you want all the information, right? All right. I love y'all. It's crazy. Like, I finally cultivated a space where, like, there's people here who are like me. Okay. I love it here. Anyways, so let's get into it. All right. So, can I just be in Flutter Learning already? I'm still making the workbook. I'm still finalizing Airbnbs and where we're staying because I'm going to be showing y'all Florida as well. Like, y'all, if you're, okay, we didn't even get into in person. Oh my God. I'm excited. Okay. Woo! All right, y'all. We didn't even get into it. I'm so annoying. I literally like organized a surprise party in like 4th grade for my teacher. Like, I organized the whole class to do it. And then I did it again in middle school for Miss Salazar. And then I did it again in high school. So I just want y'all to know, like, I've been preparing to organize this shit for like my whole life. Like, I'm excited to show y'all Puerto Rico or Florida, wherever you're learning with me. Okay. LMAO, I just had to see if I could pull up on her. Oh my gosh, energetically, y'all, I'm like, y'all, like, y'all are gonna distract me. I have to finish all this stuff for y'all before. Please don't distract me because I will distract myself. All right. So let me finish this workbook first. I'm like trying to make some, like, when y'all finish this, you're gonna be like, whoa. I've been on many calls with many elder doulas, elder midwives, people who are just like, they want to know how to make this more sustainable, how to make this something that people are interested in. And I feel like I have it, and I want y'all to really take this journey with me. And so, as I said, white people will learn in a separate space. They will be charged a different price because Black, Indigenous, people of color, you have your scholarship price already added. It's already there. So I'm going to tell you when the PR classes start, okay? My best friend name is Athena. Is she Puerto Rican? I was like, wow, the parallels. And she's Puerto Rican. Oh, wow, the parallels. Wow. Hopefully I meet her too, you and her. Maybe you start a joint practice with her. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so let's get into this. So I've kind of broken down. You get your certificate of completion of program, okay? This is to tell, the world that you completed this doula training. You've been certified. It's a community certification, okay? You are community certified, okay? This is not colonizer certified. This is community certified. All right? This is not colonizer certification. It's community certification. All right. All right. All right. Tell me, all right. All right. All right. Give me a little something in the chat. Give me a little something. You feeling what I'm saying? I know you feeling what I'm saying. All right. So just very briefly, Black, Indigenous, people of color, your class starts June 6th. Okay? Sunday, June 6th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I give y'all a little bit more time to sleep in, to get yourself together for the day, do what you gotta do, because y'all my people. Y'all class start at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it goes to 3 o'clock. You start Sunday, June 6th, and it's every Sunday at that time until November 14th. The white class, if you are a white student, if you have come in and wondered if you are welcome in this space, you are welcome in this particular space, okay? I don't hate white people. I just believe in equity. We need separate things to heal. White people cannot learn the same way Black, Indigenous people of color do, because Black, Indigenous people of color have trauma in their DNA that needs to be addressed. Y'all need safe space to heal. You need safe space to cry, to scream, to do what you need to do without worrying about white people's feelings. You need that. You need that. My ancestors and our ancestors say you need that. So white people, you will learn in a separate space, and you will be paying a separate fee because reparations. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the scholarship and pricing real quick. So Black, Indigenous, people of color, okay? I'm gonna turn off the chat. Not turn it off, just exit out. So Black, Indigenous, BIPOC, these are all terms that people just use, okay? My native folk. As I've said before, if you are mixed, if you consider yourself mulatto, mestizo, una mezcla, algo que no sabe, okay, I'm here to tell you that you are an Indigenous person. Indigenous people, Black people, we don't deal with mulatto, da, 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 da. That is something the colonizer taught us to split us up. Okay, I need you to know that. All right, you are whatever. If you go by Black, Indigenous, original, whatever, BIPOC, people of color, whatever, Latina, whatever. If you are committed to this journey of decolonization, okay, you are welcome here. If you're a white person, we will get into your stuff. But right now, I need my people to know your scholarship price is already included. Every seat was $4,000, okay? When I did the math for the timing, energy exchange, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Every seat came out to $4,000 because of the textbooks and all the other shit. There's some stuff I'm not telling you yet. Okay, every seat was $4,000. Every BIPOC person was given a scholarship price, okay, to take off $600, okay? It was already included. That is why you see a different price. Okay, so your price is $3,399. $3,400 basically. Okay. I'm also going to explain payment arrangements, how that works. Okay. So your scholarship price is already included, y'all. This is the best I can do, y'all. I cannot take on everyone's financial stress. Please understand that, and understand with me, I'm very big on boundaries. This has to be sustainable. As I said, for a reason, my bigger picture is much bigger. Okay. Economics. Okay. We talk about economics in this class as well. So every spot, $3,400 for BIPOC individuals. Now, if you are a BIPOC person who's starting a joint practice, okay, there is another scholarship that is given to you. And so your price per spot now is not $3,400, it's $3,200. So an additional $200 off. So you and this other person now are going in together. You're going half on this joint practice. So you may have someone in your life who may be called to pull and serve somehow or something. I encourage you to start this practice with someone. When I stepped into this work, I realized that people are not very everyone wants to hog clients for themselves, and doctors and midwives and people have this energy sometimes, not all, but some of them kind of doulas are trying to take patients from people. So there's this energy of what are you doing here? What are you doing? A doula? And that comes from the colonizers' energy towards the Southern Black midwives. We're also going to be talking about my prerequisite course with Sister Divine. That's about $100 that you have to take before we take our class. And her class registration ends in March. So you will have to take this class before you come into my class. $100 is a great class for a 6-week course. It will change your life. You will be so fucking hyped to come into my program. Oh my gosh. So you will also get information about that prerequisite course with Sister Divine. Her Instagram is @DivineBirthWisdom, I believe. @DivineBirthWisdom. Okay. Love that course. If you took it already, just, you will put your certification inside your e-folder when you register for class to show me that you took it. Okay. And so if you are starting a joint practice, your price is $6,400 to start your joint practice through my training. Okay. Where I prepare y'all. Now, why I'm also expanding now is because I have been getting a strong pull to get doulas into prisons to serve moms. There's work out there of moms who are pregnant in prison. And I get chills because I feel like my ancestors really made me, I'm going to get into when registration starts too, my love. My ancestors have made me feel very, very, they've been talking to me very much so about this. And so we have a lot of work. Incarceration is a very big tool into the destruction of our families, right? As Black and Latin, Indigenous, people of color, whatever, we are disproportionately affected. And there are actually a large population of women and birthing people inside of prison facilities who have to give birth. I've seen in some videos in chains, being cruelly treated. And so I've been getting a call to start this program to prepare other people to serve the community so that I can try to get some of us into prisons and do legislative work and policy work and, find, ways through my connections and politicians and people that I know to find ways into prisons to serve women who are imprisoned. And if, not everyone is built for this kind of work, to serve people in prison, you have to understand truly that you're not scared of your people. Your people will respect you and they will love you even in there. And to go in there, it may be scary for the way that the prison will make things, but I want to try and get into prison service. And so this is something that we've never seen before. And so people who are committing to have, this aspect of work motivating them as well, who are committed to find ways with me to spread the word, to get into prisons, to also do this work, if we're able to get in, would also have that scholarship factored in. Okay. So that price is factored in for people who are basically taking kind of like, just like a little commitment with me. Like if I call on you, if I'm like, hey, you know, I've spoke with this person, we need some people to show up here to this prison to da 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 to get in for whatever the case may be. I need 3 people, 2, 3, whatever it may be. Then you are willing to pull up and you are willing to plan and navigate that with me. And what I'm trying to do is not just give y'all this training and be like, deuces, I'm trying to build a community where we now have places all over where we understand that we have a mission and it's to change the world. And we can do that if we organize, right? And so that's what prison service means. Okay, so that scholarship is already included. Now, for white individuals, if you are a white individual who's come into this space or has found this, oh, I love y'all. I love this energy. So if you're a white individual who's coming to space, I am someone who I don't hate white people. I hate white supremacy. I hate racism. I hate bigotry. I hate oppression, right? I hate them on a systemic and individual level. And so I want white people to know, like the same way how I was a substitute teacher and I had white students and I still love those kids. And this is what is very deep about me. Like I will die for my people. And I say that with everything in me. Like I will die for you. Like when I was a teacher, if something was to happen to one of my babies, white, black, brown, yellow, I don't give a fuck what color they are. I will jump in front of my child to protect them. And, you know, I say that deeply. And when I say this stuff, like people think, I think it's a little intense, but I was a substitute teacher during the Parkland shooting, which is 25 minutes from me. You know, one of the women that I dated was a teacher in Parkland. And I'm just here to say, you know, there were teachers who sacrificed their lives to protect these children, okay? And there are teachers all over who would do that. And as a teacher, we are warriors. And that's what I want people to understand. Even as a doula, like the Greeks called us servants, but we are warriors for our people. We will die for each other. It's an honorable title, okay? So you are a doula warrior. That's why I say we are doula warriors, guerreras. In Spanish, guerreras means warriors, okay? And so that has to be understood. And so if you are a white individual, I want it to be understood that you are welcome to learn from me. Okay. Your money is good here. Okay. Towards the liberation of my people, reparations. Okay. I will teach you. It will be in a separate space. Your learning time will be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all have to wake up earlier than my people. Y'all gotta be ready earlier because I need to give them more time to get ready. But your spot per class is the regular price per spot, $4,000. If you decide you want to start a joint practice, white people, with another white person, you are, or even if it isn't a white person, you just want to start a joint practice with someone else. If you're white, you are still subject to pay the $9,999, $10,000. Why? Because systemically, for generations, your family lineage has had access to more funding through government sources as well as other sources at an alarmingly disadvantaged rate. And so, economically speaking, it only makes sense that you be willing to pay more for your seat in the name of reparations. If you're a white person who doesn't agree, then you are not, you know, gonna feel comfortable about joining this space, because this is not about making white people comfortable. This is about teaching white people how to be allies, how to serve us, and how to do their part. And your part also includes funding, and we are funneling funds from white communities back into our communities, okay? So this is about not just putting money in my pocket. I have no real desire for riches in the way that people would think. I want land back for my people, okay? So so let's read these comments first before we finish. So we feel you, love that course. When does registration start? As you shouldn't. That would be amazing. I'm here for all of it. Yes, sis, I love the energy. I feel so inspired. I got tears coming in my eyes. I'm envisioning this future and it's so powerful. Yes, this is beautiful. Thank you for that affirmation because I see it and I'm trying to help other people see it too. And so this is how we do it. We organize and we say, you know what? Yes, money has to be spent because economically speaking, that is how we are going to divest and now funnel our money back into the ways that we see fit. Okay. So is there any difference between the virtual and in training? Yes, there is a spiritual level as well. I'm going to go into that now. Okay. So white joint practice. I'm sorry, this is actually longer than I anticipated because I'm just so excited. So it's going to go on for 30 more minutes. If you can't, continue on, then you are welcome to. That's really why I didn't put an ending time because I wasn't really so sure if I was going to be like hour and a half, 2 hours. But if you are a Florida, so white joint practice, that's your price. You are paying more per spot because yes, again, funneling money back into our communities. And I'm going to act as a channel for funds going back to my communities. Okay. And so Florida students under 18 or just Florida students in general, if they reach out to me and say like they're financially struggling, but they want to join the program, but especially for those of my old Broward County students or any Florida students who want to become a doula, you can become a doula. You can still become a doula. Until you come 18, you won't be able to have certain, freedoms or whatever, but you can still build your business and do all of this and find a way to serve as a doula. So your spot will be $2,500. So that's for Florida students under 18 and any students really under 18. If you're a student and you find this and you find out you want to become a doula, or if you're like, someone who's young who was thinking about becoming a CNA maybe, or going down a medical assistant path and they want to try becoming a perinatal health worker, encourage them to take this and I'll give them the Florida student spot. Okay. I don't, even if they're not from Florida, if you want to take that virtual program, you'll get that spot at that price. That's fine. I always work with my students. I don't care where you're from. If you're a student, you're under 18, I got you. Find me. I don't care where you're from. Okay. So that's that program. I broke that down. All right. I broke that down. These are the coursework week 1 through 12. This is our focus for each class. Doula intro and course objectives, Black health disparities and neo-indigenization. Week 2, getting to know your teacher. I'm talking all about me. What prepared me to step in front of you? Why do I feel competent enough to prepare you to serve? Week 3, anatomy and physiology. Week 4, medical terminology. Week 5, reproductive health. Week 6, sex health and sex positivity. Week 7, trying to conceive and infertility. Week 8, childbirth education. Week 9, pregnancy support. Week 10, pregnancy support. Week 11, labor and delivery support. Week 12, labor and delivery support. Week 13, early postnatal care. Week 14, postpartum support. Week 15, newborn education. Week 16, parenthood. Week 17, infant loss support. Week 18, death and bereavement. Week 19, running your business. Week 20, your unique doula practice. Week 21, website and marketing. Week 22, paperwork and admin. Week 23, racism, colorism, capitalism, perinatal justice and equity. Week 24, self-care, love, and sustainability. Okay, this is the online program. Now, all of this information will be included into the Doula Rites of Passage program. But the way the Rites of Passage program is going to be given is way more intense. It's intensive. It's 9 days, but it's intensive. It includes all of this, but it's deeper and you get hands-on interactions. Okay, so that's the virtual People's Perinatal Health Worker program. As you know, I was heavily inspired by the Black Panther Party, by Huey P. Newton, by all of our brothers and sisters who fought so bravely on the front lines in the civil rights movement and still continue to do so today. All right. Now, let's talk about the Radical Rebirth Doula Rites of Passage 9-day retreat. Okay. Let's talk about that. And so you are having some questions like, which one is right for me? Now I want you to understand that first off, I understand there is a pandemic going on. And so I don't deal with fear. And so I still serve my community. Okay. the spirit of fear is not of the creator. Okay. It's not of your ancestors. Okay. They don't want you to move in fear, but they say if you feel fear, you must do it afraid. Okay. If you feel fear, you must do it afraid. And so the Radical Rebirth Doula Rites of Passage Retreat, this program came to me in kind of like a vision. And it started with like the name. It started with the R's and the Radical Rebirth. And it came from my own experience and what I had been through. And, you know, I wanted the name to reflect what I envisioned. And so a lot of times when people hear the word radical, you know, there's different visions that may come into your mind's eye, right? I'm from NYC, definitely looking for join forces, currently LPN nurse from Connecticut, want to join forces. Is a Radical Rebirth different from the other training you are offering? So I'm going to explain that now. In a way, yes. In a way, yes. Because this space is, white people are not allowed to take this program. European people are not allowed to take this program. Caucasian people are not allowed to take this program. Okay. And so the reason for that is because this is a healing space for the generational things that we've been through. And again, if you're not sure if you're white or not, you're more than welcome, I guess, to ask. I don't feel like I'm here to judge what you are, but I'm here to remind you again that your ancestors say that mestizo, mulatto, all of that stuff is not of the creator. So all of our ancestors, most of them were raped at some point by colonizers. So we all do have colonizer blood in us, okay? All of us. You could have the darkest skin ever, and you may have colonizer blood in you, okay? Ancestors tell you that it is not based off of your skin complexion, okay? My mom's side, my ancestors are from Saudi Arabia and Arabs from Northeast Africa. On my dad's side, they moved to South Italy during one of my many diasporas in the early 1800s. I was born and raised in Italy, and talking about the past is still a taboo. So I never knew what I am, nor what to consider myself. You are not white. You're not white. I know it's a complex thing, but that's why this program is here. You are welcome to come to the in-person retreat. I'm here to tell you that you're welcome. Okay. Now, I want you to understand that we are all so blended, y'all. I'm not here to judge you. Okay. I'm not here to tell you that, you know, you should feel shame because certain ancestors were raped. We gotta heal from that. But I'm here to say, if you are actively a white participant in this society, meaning on your license, it says white, and you have access to those benefits, you're white presenting and you benefit from it and you take advantage of it, then yeah, we gonna see that ID, it gonna say white, and you gonna pay that white price because that's what you benefit and privilege from. Now, if it was like put on there because someone else put that and whatever, then fine, that's your business. But the answers want you to know, if you're committed to decolonization and you're worried because you look white, you're white presenting, I'm here to tell you, I'm not here to say, oh, you look white presenting. It's not about how you present. It's not about how you present. Okay. I see you. And I understand that it's deep. I understand that it's so deep. A lot of us are like, what am I? Where am I? Welcome. If you're white, you just have a different learning space. That's it. Because I have to cater to that space differently because you don't have the same generational trauma the way that we do. Okay. All right. So the Radical Rebirth program came to me, started with the name, and I was like, oh, then I realized, oh, it's a retreat. And then I was like, oh, it's a rites of passage. It's a rites of passage, okay? And so in many cultures, rites of passages we all have different rites of passages, right? So we can refer to a commonly known European Jew or Jewish rites of passage, right? The bar mitzvah, right? When the young boy reaches a certain age, he has his bar mitzvah, whatever. I have nothing against European Jews, but my point for bringing that up is you see how it's so easy for us to know European Jews' rites of passages, right? But our own, they have been lost. So in this program, not only are we trying to uncover our own rites of passages, but we are creating our new rites of passages for generations to come. Okay? The ancestors say it's okay to start fresh. Practice discernment, they say. Practice discernment, and you will create new traditions that will honor us, that will be passed down to your future children. Okay? So this is preparing the next generation of radical rebirthers using tradition and innovation with a new full spectrum doula training program. Okay? Here I am listening to the baby with the fetoscope, or that one's actually not a fetoscope. That one has a different name. It's like a horn or something, a Pinard horn, I think it's called. And so in my program, whether it's in person or virtual, if it's virtual, you will find your own, or we will find you some, and you will practice using it. Or when you come in person to the retreat, you will be given one and you will practice using it in person. Okay. Now this is indigenous technology. Okay. So the Doppler, it does let off certain radiation. It does let off certain radiation, and your baby can feel that radiation. Radiation is harmful. It's something that we're not talking about enough. And in this holistic, program, we will talk about it. We will talk about it in many areas of this work. Okay. But this is indigenous technology. This is how we count the heart rate, and we determine if it sounds healthy, weak, strong, beautiful, beautiful sacred music. All right. So again, you are being prepared to offer. This is, again, a 9-day program. We're going to go over the dates, the Puerto Rico dates, Boriquen. I'm going to get you into calling Puerto Rico Boriquen again. Okay, because Puerto Rico was just called Puerto Rico because it was a port of Ricans. Okay, so the white folks said, oh, that's a port, Puerto Ricans. This is a bunch of Ricans, basically. You got Costa Ricans, but it's a Puerto Ricans, right? And so the Spaniards, before that, we were calling it, the island, the indigenous people were calling it Boriquen, Boriquen. The Arawak tribes, they had their own names to what we know was Boriquen. The Spaniards, they called it Borinquen, Borinquen, Borinquen. Borinqueños is what you call the people. Borinquen, Borinqueños. And then the white folks said it's the Puerto Ricans. And then the people took on Puerto Ricans, Puerto Riqueños, Puerto Ricans. Will we still be website business building in the in-person? Yes. Yes. Everything that's there will be in person. So in the program, you're provided like a PDF that's how to break down the thing. And then at the program, whether you bring your laptop, you use mine one night, each group, and we're going to go into this, I'm going to break that down, but yes, that will be available there, and you're doing it with me, and we're doing it just quick. And each day of the program, I am taking professional pictures of you to put onto your website. So your website is set up with dope pictures from either South Florida with other birth workers. If I already have an LLC, can I add this business to it as a second business? No, I don't recommend you do that. I recommend you start it as a separate business. But again, we will talk about that more in detail. I believe you should start a separate LLC because it will have its own function and purpose, and it may not align in the one that you do. But again, we will have to get in that in the program. But yeah, so at the program each day, you know, we're preparing you to offer all of this stuff, the same as the virtual program, but in person now, you have, these are the dates, which it's going to be reiterated. These are there's 7 cycles. Each one's going to be capped at 10 people because of COVID. Okay. So you will be grouped based off of how soon you finish paying. We will be talking about payment arrangements for both programs in a second. I just wanted to get all this stuff out. I'll come back to that. These are the cycles. So June 24th to July 3rd, South Florida, cycle 1. Cycle 2, July 18th to July 27th in Boriquen, Puerto Rico. Cycle 3, August 19th to August 28th, South Florida. Cycle 4, September 16th to September 25th, Boriquen. Cycle 5, October 14th to October 23rd, South Florida. Cycle 6, November 11th to November 20th in Boriquen. Cycle 7, the final cycle will be December 9th to Saturday, December 18th, South Florida. These are the 7 cycles for the Radical Rebirth Doula Rites of Passage retreat. Now, if you are a white person, you are not allowed to enter this program because it has spiritual ties. There are spiritual rites of passages, things that we will be doing that I can't talk about in detail here, but that are for us that I cannot do to a white person. And I won't do to my people either unless I get permission. But it's a spiritual thing. And so I cannot allow you to come in the name of my ancestors. You know, I ask that you respect that. And understand that if you do really want to learn in person with me and you want to pay that fee, the $7,000 or whatever, or the joint practice $20,000, you will be given, I will come up with a separate in-person date, not listed here. If 10 white people decide to book or inquire, you will be giving access to an in-person the People's Perinatal Health Worker Program, 9-day, but not the Radical Rebirth Doula Rites of Passage retreat. Doula Rites of Passage is sacred, okay? And I ask that you honor that. I can do that. I can come up with an 8th cycle that is specifically for white people for the People's Perinatal Health Worker Program, but it will not be this. Okay. All right. So let's get into so this all spots BIPOC, Black, Afro, Indigenous people of color only. White, Caucasian, European folks are not conducive to safe space. Due to the current pandemic, there will be a 10-person maximum per cohort as trainings will be held in South Florida and in Puerto Rico. Boriquen. We must respect the people, so PCR testing is required to enter. Here in Florida, it may not be. Vaccinated folks will be assigned to a vaccination cohort only. So again, I'm not here to tell people what to do. If you decide you want to get vaccinated, that's what you decide to do. All I'm gonna say is watch I Am Legend with Will Smith first. What did they think? They thought they found a cure for cancer, and that's how everyone became mummies. That's all I'm gonna say. Biological warfare, eugenics, that's all I'm gonna say. But I don't judge, okay? And I don't tell you what to do. I've mastered that art. And so if you do decide to get vaccinated, I don't judge, but you do have to join the vaccination cohort only. I cannot put you around my other people because I got to protect them. Come on, y'all. Okay. So again, you will be put into your own cohort for vaccinated folks. Okay. Because I don't want people to have to lie. If you got vaccinated, you got vaccinated. You go to your separate. Okay. Yeah, so LLC stands for Limited Liability Corporation. There are a couple of kinds. There's different things. We get into all of that. But okay. So white students will be gently redirected to virtual doula training program, which is the People's Perinatal Health Worker program, until in-person seats to white, European, American, Caucasians are made available next year for the People's Perinatal Health Worker program for doula training and certification. If 10 white people are like, please, can we take your program? Are we allowed to? I'm just gonna tell you, yes, I can do in person for y'all, okay? But it's not radical rebirth doula rites of passage, okay? So what's included in this is everything that you saw for the virtual, okay? Everything that was there is here, except this is 72 hours. The other one was 48 or something like that. This is 72. Okay, 72 learning hours. That's a lot. When like for example, a pediatrician or like a doctor, they're not even in med school, they're not even trained on like lactation support at all. They're not taught that. That's why they constantly refer a lactation consultant, because they're not trained on that. So I am preparing you to do something that eventually a doctor could be like, oh, just call the doula, just call the perinatal health worker. She can support with that. I've had doctors be like, oh, can I have your card? Can I have your information? Okay. Community certified. Community certified. Someone said, look at how long it takes a cop, how many instruction hours it takes a cop to become a cop. Look at how many instruction hours it takes a barber to finish barber school. They said it was longer than the cop. Something like that. Look it up. I forget exactly what he said, but I was like, really? Really? All right. So let's keep going. So this is everything. The classwork work is provided at retreat for note taking. The point of the notebook being shipped to you or provided for you is because I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you are 15 wanting to become a doula. I don't care if you're 55 wanting to become a doula. I want you to be able to just take your notes and learn however you learn. As a teacher, I learned everyone has different learning styles. Now, this is the thing. Your brain is a human biocomputer, meaning typing on a computer is not healthy for your brain, for you to retain information. You have to write it down. So you will be writing, okay? You will be writing. It won't be a lot of note taking on your phone, okay? You can have your phone out if you want to take pictures and videos and record and share certain parts. If anything's sacred, I will be like, hey, no videos, no da-da-da right now. But you're more than welcome to have your phone, but to be on your phone, texting, taking note, no, you're not going to absorb the information the sacred way you need to, okay? You're going to use wood, okay, to write. So link up with the gang included room and board for 9 nights in for the South Florida retreat or Puerto Rico Borican retreat. Okay, your room and board is included in this price, all right? I'm going to get into the pricing. Your room and board is included here in South Florida. We're going to be in one Airbnb for half the time, and another Airbnb in another time, so we can see 2 different areas. Okay, because I want us to be able to explore, like after the night of training and stuff like that. I want to be able to like take y'all out, or we go somewhere and do something each night, and we make each night memorable and special. This is a life-changing experience. This ain't no just, oh, come take your 3-day workshop here. No, this is a doula rites of passage. This is a retreat. I'm going to get a couple of my tattoo artists to come to the Airbnb. So if we want to get sacred tattoos, we can get sacred tattoos. I'm going to make sure, listen, you're going to be good. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Just out of curiosity, is there any food options if you're vegan? Yes, 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 of course. Of course. Both, if you're vegan, pescatarian, or whatever, okay? Some of y'all looking excited. So excited. Yes. I love the tattoos, the realist. Yay. Yes. Vegan, non-vegan. So in the spirit of Ma'at, we will be studying Ma'at in the 42 laws of Ma'at. Okay. You don't have to like convert to an Egyptian, African spirituality, whatever, but I have to teach you about my culture, and Ma'at is part of my culture. Okay. And so that is what keeps me in divine alignment and continues to just bless me. And so, yes, vegan options will be available in the spirit of Ma'at. We live in divine balance with animals. And so, again, I don't judge if you do eat animals. I also eat animals. I eat mostly fish and seafood myself. But when I am in Puerto Rico, you know, occasionally I might slip up. And I don't want no judgments about that. And I ain't going to judge you. Okay. This is a lifelong journey. Learning is a lifelong journey. You don't need to be there, right? The journey is the destination. Okay. All right. So vegan options will be available. That's why I'm going back and forth to Puerto Rico before we link up there. And here in South Florida, I'm linking up to make sure I have all that stuff set up. Okay. So lunch and dinner for entire workshop is provided. Breakfast is on you. Snacks are on you. Anything else, you know, drinks and stuff like that, lick or whatever, that's on you. Sometimes it may be there, who knows? I don't judge. We will see how libations is set up. Okay. I love libations. It's part of the thing. I honor the 42 laws of my under Kemet law. I love it. And I hope to learn some more from you. This is a space where I just love to learn from people. And I love to share what I've learned. And so I encourage you, you know, to share whenever you feel pulled to share in the spirit of mine. Okay. So you will also be getting 2 original Hija del Childbirth t-shirts. So I have 20 t-shirts dropping. 20 t-shirt designs dropping. Because I want y'all to be out here fucking like, these t-shirts are going to be dope. 20 t-shirt designs. You will get to pick 2. That will be, you know, provided and at the retreat for you. So that when you take your shoots on one of the days, you can wear your shirts, add your professional shoots. I'll show you how to do that. I'm setting you up with everything. When I say I'm setting your business up, I'm setting you up. I'm setting you up. Okay, this is gonna be your one-stop shop. Lil Titi. Okay? Chief Tina. Cacique Tina. So transportation from and to airport will be my responsibility. I will be, you know, picking y'all up, dropping you off. I will be doing the photo shoot for business purposes. I am a photographer. I've been a photographer for 15 years or more since I was a kid. I literally find a way to bring everything I love and serve people with it. And I am going to teach you how to do the same. We'll talk about sustainable living. So let's get into the prices. So I also want you to understand that currency has changed over time. At one point, they used shells as currency. At one point, we used gold, silver as currency. Right now, we're using, you know, computers telling us certain digits on computer screens. It will change again. And I encourage you to join me on this journey as I introduce my next currency for the future. I'm literally a futurist, and I have an idea for a currency, for a global currency for all of us. And so we will learn about currency because I know there's a lot of talk about cryptocurrency out there. And cryptocurrency is something that I will teach you a little bit about, but I'm going to teach you about how that's not even sustainable. Okay? Even crypto is not sustainable in the long run, y'all. Numbers never end. Okay? Crypto in itself is dangerous in itself. It's here right now, and we got to learn it, but we also have to dismantle and discuss what the more sustainable currency is. And I have an idea for it, but I'm going to introduce that at a later date after we learn more about currency. Okay. So introductions. So will be day 1, introductions, doulas 101, training objectives, mapping, anatomy and physiology on a mind, body, and soul level. Okay. This specific day 1 is not going to be too goal-centered because I know there's going to be a lot of spiritual things that we have to address that first day. It's going to be intense. We're going to feel a lot of energy. And that's why the group has to be small as well, because it's going to be a lot of energy. And if we want to be radically changed by the end end of those 9 days, to go back to serve and bring everything we've learned on this initiation, you know, back home to serve our people and become a community servant of the people for the people, you know, then we have to address the traumas we've gone through. So there's traumas that we don't know we're carrying with us, and we have to address them before we touch other people or go to serve other people. We don't have to be perfect, y'all. Nobody's asking us to be perfect. Nobody's asking us to be perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm not asking you to look at me like I'm perfect. I am not perfect. Okay? But I want to serve, and so do you. That's why you're here. Okay? So that first day, it's a deep thing that has to happen before we can get into the real brunt of learning for day 2, where we talk about reproductive health, trying to conceive, infertility, sex education. On a real level, you know, you're going to touch each other's wombs if you give permission to understand what uterus feels like. How do you find it? Okay, things like that. Traditional understanding of the body, as well as the medical terms. You know, all that information from the virtual program is incorporated into it. It's used as a guide, as all the information, but there's also spiritual activities we're doing throughout the day that you have to honor and respect. So day 3, we talk about pregnancy support, all aspects of it, physically, information, spiritually, emotionally, nutrition, all that stuff, pregnancy support, family building. So LGBTQ families, they want information on family building. You can be that person to, hey, you know, for my time, here are some information about those services, despite your feelings, or you can recommend them to someone you feel like is more adequate to serve them and to give them that real touch that won't judge them, okay? But that's something we also discuss. Day 4, labor and delivery support, childbirth education. You're giving a childbirth education course with me in depth for that day. And we're also talking about labor and delivery support as a doula. All the aspects, emotionally, pain management, touch medicine, all this stuff is incorporated to each day, okay? But I'm just telling you what we're focusing on each day. So day 4, labor and delivery, childbirth education. Day 5, we are talking about postpartum, early, extended postpartum. Extended postpartum is always, once you have a child, you're always postpartum. Yes, you have the immediate postpartum, the cuarentena, the first 40 days. We'll talk about those traditions, revitalizing those traditions. But we also will talk about past that. Year 1 up to year 3, sacred postpartum time. Years after postpartum time. Okay? So I'm sorry, y'all, if this is dragging on. I'm going to try and finish it up. I'm so sorry. I did not expect it, but I'm just like, there's so much to explain to y'all. And so day 5, postpartum breast, body, infant feeding, because it's not always breastfeeding. It's not always chest feeding, body feeding. Sometimes it's infant feeding, just in general. You may have to do formula. You may have to help your client find vegan formula options. You may have to assist them with that. Experiment, use research, use things you found out in class from other people. For infant feeding, at the end of the day, we want a fed baby, right? All of us have different experiences with breastfeeding, with all that stuff. We want a fed baby. We don't want to judge people for how they choose to feed their baby, okay? Day 6, infant loss, death, bereavement, supporting people through grief, transitions of this nature, okay? Postpartum, infant loss, you know, is also still a postpartum time. So people might have miscarriages, decide to get abortions, may need someone to go get an abortion with them, or drive them there and wait in the car, or be there to talk to when they get back, whatever it may be. You can ask for a little bit of money in exchange, a little bit of currency. You know, we're not doing this work for money, but it's okay to say, hey, I have to take care of myself and my family. So I'm going to teach you how to do that, you know, with grace. You are valuable. We need you to serve. We need more servants. And so, you know, day 7, we talk about building your unique doula practice, all the aspects of that, setting you up with that. Day 8, running your doula business. So we're talking about, with building your unique and running your doula business, we're talking about marketing, building your website. You know, so if you have a laptop, you're bringing your laptop. If you don't have one, we will use whatever laptops we have there to allow you to use the platform to create your website there. I want you to know, like, we will pull resources if need be, the same way I did with my students in classroom, okay? Teachers are truly the best people to talk to, okay? Keep it real with them. You just said 101 and I checked the clock and it was 101. Confirmation. Sharing is caring, exactly. Okay, these comments are fire. And so running your doula business, so all that stuff, we talk about marketing, we talk about everything that was in the virtual program. It's all included in these days. There's much more hours here. There's about 30 hours or more in this program. And you're at a retreat, so you're able to explore, you know, get to know South Florida, get to know Puerto Rico. It's beautiful. And I want to show you, show you like, hey, there's moves to be made. We're talking about building a new economy. So the last day, we're focusing on us again. Before I send you back out to serve your community, I have to remind you to go back into self. We'll talk about self-love, self-care, healing, reparenting, sustainability, and building a new economy, okay? I'm not sending you out into the world to never see you again. You are expected now to be invested in building a new economy with me. Let's talk a new world. Let's talk about communities and tribes again. Let's talk about that again, okay? Let's talk about making a sustainable living. I don't want you out here being broke, okay? We're not in this for the money, but we should not be struggling to serve. We don't have to struggle to serve. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's be able to go into an apartment complex or go to somewhere and be like, we want to invest in this land. I want to get an apartment. I have anything I need because I am legally on point. I'm going to set you up like, apply to an apartment complex. I don't have to fake nothing. Here's my bank statements. Here's my ID. Here's my DBA registration. Here's my SumBiz form. Here's my blah, blah, blah. Because we got to step up to this system in the language that it speaks before we can talk about building new policies and designing a new economy, okay? So that's the actual program, 9 days. Every day I'm taking pictures of you, all of your pictures. You also get an e-folder. So your pictures from the day will go into your e-folder. So not only will you use it for like your badge when I create and ship you your badge, but whenever you want to update your website or, make posts on your social media, you have now photos that are, from this major life-changing event to pull from. Okay, so all questions can be directed to me at my business cell phone at 754-244-5082. You can text me, please just text me. I don't be trying to talk on the phone unless it's absolutely important. Email help@hijasoulburst.com. Now let's go into pricing. So pricing for here, this price for per spot was priced at about like $6,000 something dollars. I think it was like 6,500 or like 7,000. But, the scholarship is included into the price for Black, Indigenous, BIPOC folk. And so your spot with everything that's included is $5,500. Okay, after I go through the prices now, I'm going to tell you how you can set up your payment arrangements for both programs. Because I don't expect you to be like, here's my money, here's all the, no, you can do a payment arrangement, okay? So I'm going to explain that and break that down for you. And I'm going to also tell you how I'm changing things, okay? Is prison service the same as bio POC, but just a prison service added? No. So it's its own price. Per spot, it's 5,000 because that's the scholarship price. The individual price is 5,500 for BIPOC folk. And if you're doing a joint practice, it's 10,000, both of y'all to pay, but 5,000 each. So you get a scholarship price if you're starting a joint practice. You get a scholarship price if you're doing prison service. So that commitment to, join me in that work. Florida student or any student really, who's under 18, anywhere who wants to join this program, as long as you get guardian permission to come to this retreat or whatever, legal guardian permission, then we can figure that out. So white individuals, I'm going to get into that. But for these programs, okay, so Black individuals, BIPOC or whatever, $5,500 is the price of your spot. None of these prices here include airfare. That is your responsibility. I cannot take on the stress of worrying about airfare for whoever is going to sign up, whatever, with fluctuations and change. No, that is your responsibility. Okay. So once you are assigned your group, whether you're in person at South Florida or in person in Boriquen in Puerto Rico, once you get your information, that is going to kind of let me know which group you're going to go into, your timing, and you also will be able to kind of guide your own payment arrangement. So I'll get into that in a second. So people, you can pay for your spot all at once. If you got it like that and you want to go that route, you can go that route. So someone said for PR, is a COVID test required? If so, how much? So a PR, yes, they ask you to do a COVID test to come in. And I noticed that people just feel more comfortable if they know you've had them, like when we're in the town and the pueblos and stuff like that. It's a lot of older people, y'all. The infrastructure is crumbling. It's not just about the government. The people feel a little bit safer knowing that you've had it done. This may be a weird question, but will there be parking if I can take my car down? We can find you parking somewhere if you take your car down. We'll find you somewhere to park. I don't know if it'll be something that I can pay for or what that will look like, but we can find you somewhere. You may have to pay. Okay. But remember, we will have an Airbnb too. So there will be parking at the Airbnb. Okay. If you do drive. Now, if you're going to Puerto Rico, that's one thing. You will have transportation, but if you want to go like explore or do anything, you'll either have to get your own rental or do Uber. And Uber can be expensive over there. Okay. But I don't know how much a COVID test costs. Like for me, I have a 1-day COVID testing PCR spot near me that they don't charge me anything if you have insurance, and I have Medicaid. So I didn't pay anything for mine. I don't know if you have to pay anything. Okay. So let's finish talking about pricing. So if you're doing a joint practice, Black, Indigenous, BIPOC folk, and you're starting a joint practice with someone, because you're like, honestly, this is a lot of work. Going at it alone, you can, but I don't recommend it if you can avoid it. You want a partner on this journey. It's like being a cop. How they're out there, they got a partner. Like, we need that. We need that. I need that even still right now, but I can't do that until I know someone's been trained in the way that I would serve my community. So I got to wait until I train people to know, like, I'm going to be looking for people that I can also build with through this program, you know? And so if you're starting a joint practice, it's $10,000 for both of your spots, $5,000 a spot. If you're doing prison service and you're making that commitment, $5,000 a spot. Florida student, $5,000 a spot. White individual, white joint practice individuals, people. You will not be doing Radical Rebirth, but it will be the People's Perinatal Health Worker Program. Thank you for information and all you shared. I have to leave now. No problem. You'll see this recording. If you need any other information, scroll 2.5 hours down. The link will be going out soon. And this will all be going out in a packet. And so pricing breakdown now. I've told you the prices. So white people, you see your pricing. You will have your own separate group. Yes, you will be paying more per spot because reparations, and we have to funnel funds back from white folks' pockets into our people's communities. Okay, so let's go through the breakdown real quick. And then I'll take any questions and we can get off about payment arrangements. Okay, so now we have 2 different options, whether you're doing virtual or in person. So if you're doing in person, let's start with in person. If you're doing in person and you have the option for in person or virtual to do anywhere between 1 payment, so all of it up front, all the way up to 6 payments. Okay. So if you are a Black, let's start with, for example, Black, Indigenous, BIPOC individual whose spot is $5,499, $5,500. You can say, you know what? I don't have time to stress about and I have money to invest into this, whatever. or maybe I'm getting my income tax money and I'm just going to take my whole income tax money and invest it straight into this. Fine. You are going to have an option to, reach out to me and just be like, hey, in your folder, you're going to let me know, hey, I've decided I'm going to do 1 payment, 2 payment, 3 payments, 4 payments, 5 payments, 6 payments. I believe that it will be less stressful for my people to not have to worry about getting on a reoccurring payment kind of thing. So I am trusting you to be responsible to make sure you just get your money in by a certain date. So you have to get your deposit in by a certain date, and you have to get in your complete payment by a certain date. Okay. As long as you have your deposit in to let me know by a certain date, because I have to make plans, remember, as long as you have your deposit in by a certain date to let me know you are holding your spot, I don't care how you do your whatever number of payments, okay? I don't care how you set up your 1 through 6 payments, either or, 1 payment, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So for example, if you're doing the $5,500 spot, you may just do the 1 payment of $5,500. You may say, you know what, in your e-folder, I'm choosing the 2 payment option. So that's 2 payments of $2,749.50. I'm doing the 3 payment options. So that's $1,833. I'm doing the 4 payment options. That's $1,374.75. Or I'm doing the 5 payment options. That's $1,000.99 and $1,099.80. Sorry. 6 payments of $916.50. Okay. So this breakdown of the payment structure is super easy. You just take the amount and you decide, okay, am I doing 1 payment, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? And you just divide by that number to figure out what your payment breakdown is. It will also be going out in the email, in the follow-up email, to let you know what the payment will be. But I am not locking you into a payment schedule per month or anything like that, because I feel like that would make it more stressful. Because some of you the scholarship is already included, but some of you may do a fundraiser. Some of you may ask people for support. Some of you may be working and just setting up a little account with the money. So you have to be responsible for that. That's not my business, okay? But I will be doing check-ins to see at certain dates, like, hey, y'all, I'm doing check-ins to see, I need to go in and check proof of payments. So you've already had my payment information, but after you send in your payment, it could be, through a bank transfer or through PayPal or through a certain app or whatever. You have to provide proof of payment in your e-folder. Okay. So once you start registration and you pay your deposit, you provided your e-folder, you sign up for your amount of payments, what you're committing to. And again, this is how I deal with my clients. I tell them, listen, I don't check up on payments like that. I don't like that energy. It just reminds me of the colonizer too much. Okay. I'm not checking up on you. I trust your judgment. I trust you want to be in this program. And I trust that some way, somehow you're navigating how to get those funds, but it may not be by my schedule, right? It may not be on my schedule. Okay. So, is there a required deposit amount for the retreat? Yes, there is a required deposit amount for the retreat. For each program, there's going to be a required deposit amount, and it's going to be in the follow-up email. It's going to be in the email that has this payment breakdown. Okay. I haven't decided if it's going to be different for the retreat to the virtual program. That's the only reason I don't want to say a number yet. Okay. I hope you understand, because this is recording. So this is going out there was like 300 people who signed up for the mailing list information. There's only been like 20, 30 people come in on here. A lot of people said they're waiting for the recording. So I don't want to say a specific number yet, because I kind of just want to make sure I got a clear idea of what numbers are looking like. But payment, so you pick which program you want, virtual or in person. You see the amount, you say, you know what, let me look at the math, let me look at the numbers, let me look at my budget, okay? I'm not here to say, get my money in by this day, this day, this day. No, I'm not going to do that. That's of the colonizer. I'm going to say, this is my price. This is the sustainable price that I'm asking for. Here are your options now to get, payment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 payment options. And then from there, you know, I will do check-ins to see, okay, are you doing your payments? And then by a certain date, and this is all going to be in your agreement, you're going to sign an agreement. In your agreement, it's going to say by this day, you need to have your complete payment in. And it's going to be maybe like 4 weeks before your group's date. You know what I mean? So by 4 weeks before the date of your training starting, you have to have the complete payment in. Okay. 4 weeks. So whichever date you choose, 4 weeks before, your payment will be due in completion. Okay. Will be due in completion 4 weeks before. All right. So as I said, I'm not checking after your payments in the necessary, like, hey, you got my money. I don't do that. I don't like that. And I don't like to do that with my clients either. Okay. We got to move a certain way. Currency is here. Currency has always been a thing, but it doesn't rule us. It's a tool to our liberation. Okay. We have to understand, not be afraid to talk about currency, about money, about an exchange, about sustainability while we are navigating this current system. And I will teach you too how to navigate this with clients and with other people until we discuss a new currency. Okay. And so this breakdown will be available, but for anyone, if you want to know how to do the payment breakdown, how can you do the payments? It's not required of you by certain days to do the payments. So 1 week, so you may say, I'm going to do 6 payments, right? I am going to do a joint practice with my friend. We're going to do 6 payments together. So that's 6 payments of $1,666.50. So both of us are going to make sure that every 2 weeks we get this money in. If we got to ask our husbands or our partners or our family or start a fundraiser, then that's what we're going to do to get this money in once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever. That's up to what you agree to in the agreement with me in the form in your e-folder, but that's up to you. Okay. I'm not locking your card into anything. I'm not locking your bank account into anything. I'm not going to do that. And so if for some reason you cannot get the full amount in by this specific date, you will have that credit frozen until next year's program. Until next year's program. So I do not do refunds. It's just a way more complicated situation. And so unless you were seriously like, I don't want to learn with you at all, then that's one thing. We can discuss an amount going back to you, but I don't do refunds. And so if you, for some reason, cannot get the full amount that you committed to or agreed to in your agreement, the amount will be frozen into a credit for your seat for the following year. So you are still expected to fundraise, to work, to do whatever you have to do to save the money for your spot for next year, but you will be given a spot the next following year. And you will have to, make sure you come up with the funds for your spot. Now, if the amount for the spot changes, we will have to work something out. Okay. I try my best to be understanding with people and to be fair. So please understand that I'm not here to, manipulate or abuse anyone. I have to stand firm in my boundaries and my structures and my policies so that, I can manifest what I'm envisioning, which is economic liberation and building alternatives. Okay. So if you want to figure out how to do your payment arrangement, see what the numbers are, you pick which one you are. So if you're a Black Indigenous individual going to the retreat, your spot, the price per spot, you break it down based off of however many payments you think you can do. You may say, you know what, I'm going to commit to this. So I'm going to pay the specific deposit amount. If the deposit may be $500, right? The deposit may be $500. That's kind of what I was thinking around that number. And you pay your deposit. Now you may say from there, you're going to do, and that deposit goes towards your credit and your payments. Okay. So then from there, say you're like, okay, after that, I'm going to do the deposit. And now I'm going to launch a fundraiser for the full rest of the $5,000 for the rest of the seat. Because I'm a Black individual, BIPOC individual. And that gives me X, Y, and Z number of months to launch this GoFundMe or launch this fundraiser and call on my community to support me and supporting them. Right. And now I have a few months to raise this $5,000 in any way that I can, to work, put money in this account. And so by 4 weeks before the date that I've committed to and I've registered for, I'm required to have my full one payment ready to go in. Or if I committed to 2 payments or 3 payments, I got to make sure that I get those in on time. I trust your judgment. You are responsible for yourself, okay? And how we start to build our own business is you understand that this is your responsibility, okay? So are there any questions for me about anything? I'm pretty much finished up. I'm going to create like 5 minutes for any questions. Anyone have any questions? Put it in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. What do we have any questions about? This also applies to the perinatal health worker program, virtual seats. You will be asked to pay a certain amount as a deposit by a certain date to let me know that you are serious about moving forward with the program, signing an agreement with me, a learning agreement. And then from there, we move forward, okay? So you take your amount, you split it by 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, 6, depending on what you think is going to work with your budget, what you can make happen. And we go from there. Any questions? Any questions? Drop it in the chat for me. Any questions? Drop it in the chat. Any questions? Any question about anything? In person, virtual. I'm going to be making payments available via PayPal, Zelle, bank transfers, Stripe payments on my website. So you can pay with a card. Any questions? Cash App. I don't have Cash App and I don't use Cash App because they stole money from me before. Yeah, and I couldn't get in contact with them. So I don't use them no more. For online class, when do you start taking deposits? That is all going to be in the information email that I'm sending out. I'm going to be sending out a link with this recording. It's going to be talking about registration process. There's going to be a form for registration. It's going to tell you how much the deposit is for virtual and in person. And it's going to tell you how you can send the money, send in your deposit. Both programs would be a total $8,800 for a BIPOC individual. So if you were taking, you're asking if you're taking, if you decide to do virtual learning and in-person learning with me, the virtual program and in person, is that what you're asking? Because that's $3,400. Is that what you're asking me? Yeah, the virtual program and the retreat. So that would basically be $8,900, $8,800 some change. So $8,900, yeah. And honestly, if you were doing that, I would reach out to me, send me an email, and I would definitely give you a discount. I would definitely give you a discount. So it would be cheaper than that if you decided to commit to both, okay? No questions, but drop your IG so we can connect in the meantime. Okay, I like it. Put them things in there. Drop your IGs. All right, I'm going to start closing out the space. Thank you for joining me. Please visit my Instagram for more information. Please make sure that you spread the word. If you do both, you know, there will be an option for people to put that in registration. Send me an email if you do decide. I will give you a discount for sure. I will come up with something for you. Put in your Instagrams. I love this. Let's connect. I want y'all to be commenting under my IG because them things always shadow banned. So talk to each other under there. I'm so excited to meet y'all. Any questions, you know, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at any point. Visit the website and fill out the contact form or send an email to help@hijasoulbirth.com. I can't wait to tell you more about me. I can't wait to see who moves forward. I can't wait to hug people in real life. I can't wait to get these things going for y'all. I can't wait to see what's in store for y'all. Got Instagrams on here. So I'm gonna stop this recording. Stop screen sharing, stop screen sharing. All right. So welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. Show some love. I can't, talk about this on social media. Tag me at SoFlo Doula, at Diosa__Athena. Take some pictures. Spread the word. Let people know you are ready to serve your community and you need their help. Call on your community for support. You'll be surprised. People might have a little extra money going around, don't know how to spend it. You'll be surprised. There's people who want to support Black birth workers, BIPOC birth workers. There's people who want to support this work. Start a fundraiser. Get the word going. You will be surprised. Even if we don't take the in-person training, can we still meet you in person? At some point, yes, I will be doing some in-person gatherings and things like that. That's why I said we're doing it in person for learning purposes, retreat wise, but virtual learning options as well. But yes, there will be in-person learning options.